to be a different side of me, yeah. You'll find a different side of me.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of this video and from my eyes, we are gonna be reviewing and testing out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I first wasn't sure if I needed this palette in my life or not, but since I have it, I'm absolutely in love with it. I mean, just look at it, it's so beautiful. I almost feel like this is soft glam with purple and pink added to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Before we jump into the tutorial and I show you how I created this eye look, I definitely want to go through and swatch all of the shades for you so you can see how each of them are looking. And I also wanted to show you another palette, which is kind of like an alternative from Makeup Revolution, but this is the first time when we cannot call it a dupe. So the palette we're talking about is the Makeup Revolution Visionary palette. One of my eyes today was created using this palette, and I feel like you cannot really tell the difference, but there is a limited amount of similar looks you can create with it, because the original Norvina palette has a lot of burgundy, gold, mustard and pink and purple shades, while the Visionary palette does have one pink shade and it has 3 purple shades, but it is still far too different to be called a dupe. However, it is similar. The Makeup Revolution palette retails for £4 as usual. The Norvina palette retails for £43, and to be honest, that's quite standard for Anastasia. Like, all of her palettes are in this price. You have the nice velvet cardboard packaging, the same as the previous palettes had. Inside we have 7 shimmery shades on the top and 7 matte shades on the bottom. There's no really dark shades in this palette, but I think it's a beautiful palette for the spring and it really fills a gap in Anastasia's palettes. I wish she would bring something more like an earth tone palette out, because the Mario palette is not out anymore. She discontinued the Subculture palette. I really hope she's gonna do something a bit more earth toned again, because I really love greens and bronze and gold shades and browns and all that, but nevertheless this palette is really gorgeous. So I'm gonna start swatching all of the shades for you now on my arm one by one, showing you, talking about the shades, and then we're gonna try to find a shade from the Visionary palette that looks similar to it. I already know that we won't be able to match all of the shades, but I think we will be able to find quite a few. We're gonna start with Dreamer, which is a champagne gold shade, absolutely stunning. Then we have Summer, which is a true gold shade. Then we have Wild Child, which is, to be honest, my least favorite shade in this palette. The color payoff is not really good. It's a pink with blue hue to it. I just wish it showed up better. The shade itself in the palette is gorgeous, but the way they went about it is not really my favorite. The next shade is Rose Gold, which is a duochrome shade, a bronze shade with a pink shine to it. It's really interesting and beautiful. The next one is called Celestial, and it's a warm purple shade. The color payoff of this one is not bad at all. Then we have Dazzling, which is very similar to Rose Gold, except this one is not duochrome, it's just a nice bronzy shade. And then the last shimmer shade is called Drama, and it's a beautiful dark purple shade. And now we're gonna move on to the matte shades. So the first one is called Base, and like I said, this has a sheen to it, it's not completely matte. Then we have Soul, which feels quite dry in the palette, but blends out really nice once it's on the skin. It's a really interesting, really ashy purple shade, almost like a grey purple. I absolutely love it, but I do see why you would need to be careful using this, because it can look like someone punched you in the face. The next shade is called Incense, and it's a beautiful brown shade, perfect transition shade. The next one is Love, and Love is my absolute favorite shade in the whole palette. It's like a really beautiful shade of pink. Then we have Volatile, and Volatile is a dark, cool toned brown, almost grey. And then we have Eccentric, which is like a mustard brown shade. And the very last one is called Passion, and that is like a really dark burgundy, almost dark brown shade. Okay, let's see what do we have now in the Visionary palette. So obviously we're not gonna be able to go in order because some shades don't have anything even remotely similar, and other shades are not exact dupes either, and absolutely nothing is in order. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go on and I'm gonna try to find a shade that I feel like is the closest, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna see how everything looks. So as you can see, there is quite a lot of similarities, however it's not completely the same, and there are many more looks that you can create with the Anastasia palette that you cannot create with the Makeup Revolution one. So I feel like the Makeup Revolution palette is a little bit more limited. The colors don't run that dark. I did really struggle with the pigmentation on this one, and there is just not that many shimmer shades. Now let's jump into the tutorial and see how they perform on the eyes. I'm gonna start off with using my MAC Painterly Paint Pot.
So close, I want further in under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's been. I used to be satisfied.
Okay, so as always, I'm going to be using a cheaper palette, which is today the Visionary palette on this side of the face, and I'm going to be using the more expensive one, which is the Norvina palette on this side of the face. And we're going to create a purple and brown makeup look today, seeing how the Visionary palette has only one pink shade. If I would touch any of the gold shades or any of the pink shades, then we would be technically screwed because there's no dupe for those. I'm gonna first put down the shade Base on this side of the face.
Leaving everything behind, knowing there is more in.
This pretty much goes all over the lid. We have a similar shade in the Visionary palette, which is this one in the corner. So I'm gonna be using that shade on my right eye to set the paint pot on this side as well. Moving on, we're gonna use the shade Incense and add it to the crease. We want to go back on top of it with Eccentric to make it a little bit warmer. So I'm going to take a little bit of Eccentric now. In the palette they look similar, but in reality they're quite different. And now to create something similar on this eye, I'm gonna first take this like lighter shade and see how it looks.
You would have liked to do that too.
Okay, that doesn't really show up, so I'm gonna jump into this darker shade in the corner. Yeah, that's much better immediately.
And just lovers, but I guess that we will never know. 'Cause now we're back.
I'm gonna try to take this first shade and see see if that will darken it up for me. Yeah, I mean, kinda. I'm gonna take now Soul on a smaller brush, and I'm gonna apply it just in the middle of the eyelid.
I always thought that we'd meet again. I hope you like to do that too.
So now you want to repeat the same thing on the other side, but unfortunately we will need to use this shade that has a bit of a sheen to it. However, because we're gonna go back with Celestial on top of this, hopefully it will make no difference. Let me try my finger instead. Okay, so with the finger it's much better. The shade is really different, so I'm gonna try to go back on top of it with this other purple shade, and hopefully a mixture of the two will give us the right color. Yeah, it's much better now. It's much closer to the other side. Okay, now let's apply Celestial on top of Soul. I'm gonna use my finger with that as well, because I feel like the Anastasia shimmer shades work much better with your finger.
I like to do that too.
Celestial definitely has a different shine to it than the Visionary palette does. We're gonna move on now to the shade Passion, and we're gonna connect it to the purple. And once we're done with that, we go back with a fluffy brush and just smudge it out a little.
Are you happy now? Things just got so crazy from us.
And I will take the shade Passion down on the bottom lash line as well.
Without you, everything we were was just
And kind of like connect it to the V.
after almost make me blind. Still deny.
And then just blend one more time.
I'll repeat it in my mind. All our memories goes on and on.
Okay, so that's how we're looking so far. So now we want to repeat the same thing on the Visionary side, and to do that we will need the darkest shade in the palette, which is this one.
Until my feet can feel the ground, wishing I still dance with you.
And again, bring down that shade on your bottom lash line as well.
I feel so lonely now, walking through the cold street.
And just make sure you blend it.
Me, you know it's been a while ever since I saw you. Oh,
We want to now take the light shade to finish the inner corner. I want to take a pink shade. On the Anastasia side it's gonna be Wild Child, and obviously on the other side is gonna be the only one pink shade in the palette. I'm gonna first apply Wild Child with my finger, and after that I will go back and finish the corner with the brush, and also bring it down on my bottom lash line. I'm gonna go and do the Visionary side. So in the Visionary palette we're obviously taking this pink shade and do the same. First try to apply it with my finger, and then I will finish it with the brush. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of a lighter shade in my inner corner. In the Anastasia palette, I'm gonna obviously choose Dreamer, and that's the lightest shade we have. It's a champagne color. And I'm gonna add that right in the corner. And on the Visionary side, I'm gonna add this white shade. I hope if I go a little bit light-handed, it's not gonna create a big difference. Okay, now I'm gonna take my Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick Liner, and I'm gonna quickly add on my black eyeliner, and then we're gonna be back. Okay, so my eyeliner is done. Now I wanna go back with a little bit of the Celestial shade, just to make sure that it's popping. Obviously, be careful, make sure you avoid the area where you already put the eyeliner on. And on the Revolution side, I'm gonna try to use a mixture of them too, because I want it to be shimmery, but I want it to be a little bit warm tone. And now on top of this, I take a clean brush and I'm gonna go back to this shade Incense, and I want to darken up that line a little and just like wing it out. And it will make sense in a second why we're winging it out. And now we're gonna do the same on the other side. Gonna probably go in with this one again.
I want him to be mine, to be mine. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want.
The next thing I'm gonna use is my Essence Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade C'est La Vie.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch.
Okay, and now we will try to make this look a little bit more interesting. First, I'm gonna take my Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner in the white shade, and we are gonna add a line.
I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Oh, the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, 'cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
And it's gonna be joined in by this other line coming from your crease. And once it completely dries, I take another Urban Decay product. This one is the Metallic Glitter Liner in the shade Glam Rock. I know normally everyone has Midnight Cowboy, but I don't find Midnight Cowboy that interesting. I much prefer Glam Rock because it's a straight on silver glitter. I'm gonna add some of this on top of the white pencil here, and I'm also gonna add some on the middle of the eyeshadow as well, where we have the purple shade, and I do the same on the Anastasia side. And I also add some glitter to the bottom of the black line, kinda just to like tidy the whole look together. I'm gonna take my Benefit Roller Lash today, and I'm gonna add some mascara.
Know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you.
And because this eye look is already so over the top, I want to do something really simple on my lips today. So I'm gonna use the Anastasia liquid lipstick in the shade Crush. And that is the finished look.
Passing by, surrounded by all those butterflies. Suddenly they flew right in my heart. Must have looked like a living piece of art.
Okay guys, that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you to decide if you should be picking up the Norvina palette or the Visionary both or either. Anyway, I hope you had a good time. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell button so you're not gonna miss out on any future uploads. And I will see you next time. Bye.
I wouldn't have to be alone. No, I would never be